Yeesh. Everybody say your prayers for Ted Wheeler, the mayor of Portland, Oregon. Say your prayers for him because the Antifa have increased and ratcheted up their rhetoric in their threats against him and his family and his life. This says from Andy No, which I'll back up just for a second to tell you, trending on Twitter right now is Ted Wheeler. When I saw that, knowing what's been going on, and knowing that he enabled Antifa for a year, it is not surprising that you may see a trending name and someone may have died. So that was what I thought. I was like, oh my God, what happened in Oregon? Thankfully, that is not the case. But Andy No is reporting saying Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler made a report to police over an incident, but the details are currently unknown. This was 6 hours ago. There is an update. Otherwise, this video would be useless. Hashtag Antifa have been looking for him and recently hit him in a restaurant. In 2019, an Antifa member was convicted for threatening to burn down his home. So they've threatened to burn down his home credibly enough that you could convict somebody for an actual plan, for arson, an attempted murder. But Andy also, a very diligent reporter, as you may know, from the area, he has a vested interest in having his place be safe. You can see that it was not on this night, on the night of January 7, in the morning of January 7, where Ted Wheeler's out on a date with, I think it looks like a lady, and he is out having a little glass of wine, and these people come in and do this to him. Now, again, he's not a victim. He enabled them all year long. And only, I think, in July was he tweeting that, this has now become violent. And so the police are going to use gas to clear you away from the areas because they're attacking federal property. You remember all this? Or am I just insane to think that this has repercussions, Ted? When you enable a gang, a violent street thug gang for, a year, they eventually kind of get sick of beating up buildings. They're going to start making threats against people. And who do you think that they're going to hate the most when you are the actual representation of the establishment that they hate, right? So check this out.
You comfortable, Tevis? Are you comfortable? You having a good night on the town? You enjoying yourself? I think you need to do your job as a fucking mayor. I think you're a disgrace. I think that everybody in this fucking city thinks that you're fucking pathetic, Tevis. How dare you do sweeps while people are still on the streets? How dare you? Do not touch me. How dare you? You are ashamed, Tevis. You think that we're going to forget about you? We're never going to forget you, Tevis. Ever. Ever. I hope you enjoyed your little wine. You're fucked, Tevis. Start doing your fucking job. Don't talk about it. None of that. Do it. Put it.
Are you okay with any of this yet? Is this not disturbing the peace, causing a scene, incitement of a riot, making verbal, life threats or whatever the charge would be? I don't know. I've never made them. But this person seems to be doing it like it's their day job or their second nature. Check this out.
Mayor, you have done nothing in the city for whatever fucking son. Kiss my ass. Fuck you. To your face. You're a bitch. And every time you step up, every fucking time.
Totally surrounded, right? Screaming in his ear.
You are gonna be made to feel. You are gonna be made to feel like the scum you are. Fuck you. Fuck you. Shame on you. I hope your little girlfriend knows that too.
Okay, now, super important, and I'm so happy that I paused it right at that moment. So not only do you clearly get a good look at that guy, if you are your friend, or if that's your friend, or if you know who this person was, this would make it obvious, right? But beyond that, they know they're not going to snitch. That's not the point of pausing it here. The point is that in just a hair of a second, you're going to see the girl in blue, and this guy's blocking the camera for a reason. It's not a coincidence that he just walks in front of the camera, because this is their video. They're filming their own assault on him. So now the guy walks in front of the camera so that the girl can take a sucker punch at the back of Ted's head. And again, Ted is only a victim now that he's been attacked. But if you enable your attacker and you give, think about this. Your friend, you start to feed, and then you take him out to eat all the time. You're giving him all the pre and the post workout. You're taking him to his gym membership. You're giving him steroids. You're doing everything you can to get him jacked up. And then in about a year, he eventually, with that roid rage, hauls off and punches you in the back of your head. Now, you are a victim, But you also enabled this, built this monster, and then were acting surprised when it bit you. Watch this.
Come on, guys.
So she just... Terrible punch. But a little girly, not like girls can't punch, but she is a lady, and she punched like a lady. Little shoulder down, little jab, and the guy's blocking it so that you wouldn't be able to see her clearly punching.
I hope your little girlfriend knows that too. Come on, guys.
And so they say, oh, well, the punch wasn't actually recorded on camera. Yeah, it was. Right there. At least in my opinion. Now, this being the actual report says, Wheeler called me shortly after and relayed the following statement to me, which he also emailed to me. At approximately 8 p.m., as I was leaving the Hillsdale McMenamins? Sorry, new word. Hillsdale McMenamins pub, I was confronted by a middle-aged white male. Ugh, it's always us. Oh my God, it's always us. It is always the white males. We're up to no good. Started making trouble in this neighborhood. He appeared to be violating a videotaping. Same, right? When it's a white male. He appeared to be videotaping with a cell phone. He indicated that he'd been photographing me while I was inside the restaurant's tent. He accused me of sitting in the restaurant without a mask. In fact, I was in the tented area of the restaurant sitting at a table, and I informed him that the current COVID regulations allow people to take their masks off for the purpose of eating and drinking. Then he accused me of other things, to which I indicated he did not understand the rules and he should probably have a better understanding if he was going to confront people about them. Ooh. Dude, bad bedside manner. I'm sorry, victim blaming alert, trigger alert. You don't realize if you're about to get attacked, you don't instigate the attacker. You don't rile them up by saying condescendingly, hey, you don't know what you're talking about, so why don't you not even confront me, okay? That's the best way to get attacked. At least in my opinion, in my experience. So he says, he followed me to my car while continuing to video. I attempted to get closer to my car and to get in, but he came closer. He had no mask. And he got within a foot or two of my face as he's videotaping me, and I became imminently concerned for my own personal safety. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So when I saw your name, I'm like, he did get got? Something's gonna, this is where it gets super serious, and I'm taking it lightheartedly, but the reason for the video is that I saw the guy's name and said, am I gonna make an RIP? So, says, my personal safety, and I had recently been physically accosted in a similar situation, which we showed you. So they record them attacking him. They will make it so that they don't record the physical part of the attack, but they record the verbal part so they can go dunk on him on Twitter. And Twitter supports this. Twitter is all about it. So they say, I'd been physically accosted in a similar situation. In addition, I was concerned about contracting COVID. Please. Given that he was right in my face, and he was not wearing a mask. I believe that if I had taken my face mask off as I attempted to enter my car, I believe that I took my face mask off as I attempted to enter my car, but I don't really specifically remember. I clearly informed him that he needed to back off. He did not do so, so I informed him that I'm carrying pepper spray, and I'll use it if he does not back off. He remained at a close distance. I pulled out that pepper spray, and I sprayed him in the eyes. He seemed surprised and backed off. He made a comment like, I can't believe you just pepper sprayed me, bro. As he walked away from my car, the individual with me suggested that I leave for my safety. Before I did so, I threw a full bottle of water towards him. So you can wash your eyes out? Well, you should be carrying Maalox, you asshole. Water's not going to be that helpful. Thanks. Come on, give me a break. Why? Officer, just so we're clear, I did my bestest. I gave him water bottle wash his eyes out. I left the scene immediately. Thereafter, I notified my chief of staff and deputy chief of staff of the situation. You should have called the cops, not your staff. Staff, what do I do? Oh my God, I just sprayed this super scary guy. Oh shit, Ted. Oh my God. Oh, what did he look like? Tell me he was not. No. He was a white guy. Okay, thank God, Ted. Oh, Ted, thank God. This is absolutely just dumb. So bonkers. He says, I asked Wheeler if he recognized the man. This is now the police officer again. I asked Wheeler if he recognizes the man from any previous encounters. He told me he didn't recognize him. The guy didn't have a mask on. Remember, it was super scary. He didn't have his mask on. So Ted would have known him, right? Maybe. Who knows? Wheeler described the man as a white male in his 40s, shorter than 6 foot, medium build, wearing a dark colored heavy jacket, possibly wearing glasses. How far is San Francisco from Portland? Hey, Salty, where were you the other night? where were you, Salty Cracker? That sounds suspiciously like the Salty Cracker. And I wonder, he's over, I mean, I don't know where Portland is in relation to San Francisco. It could be like 10 hours for all I know. But I'm here in Michigan, so for me, everything's a drivable distance, and it doesn't matter if it's 12 hours. I confirmed with Wheeler that Sam Adams was present, and I asked Wheeler, I wonder if that's the beer. And I asked Wheeler if he saw anyone else around the area that may have witnessed the encounter. Wheeler told me that he thought there may have been family with children near the door, but he wasn't sure if they had seen the incident. I asked Wheeler if he had had anything else to add right now, and he told me that he did not. I confirmed with Wheeler a phone number for Adams, then to give Adams a call and to get a statement. So, the short story there, Portland is not exactly the greatest place to be if you're Ted Wheeler, or anyone for that matter, because Andy No does a great job. He will show you people like Malia Lynn Trammell, 29, in Portland, indicted for felony, identity theft, criminal mischief, escape. She's a public school teacher. Yay! So, not only is it just, a public school teacher, but it is literally any old person in Portland, because most of them have been brainwashed. Most of them are subverted against the United States. So can you imagine a teacher, a public school teacher, who's out in a crowd like this, who's screaming terrible, racist epithets at the cops, slurs against the law enforcement officers that they see that they can kind of root against and pick against. They see a black officer and a white officer, so they start to use race to try to divide the officers. And it's stupid, but they're sick people, so they do this. Can you imagine a school teacher in that mix? This is ICE agents arresting one of the protesters at the facility. So this, in Portland, on the heels of what happened the other night. I showed you the video of the cop car running through the crowd of people after the car was surrounded, and the guy's about to get pulled out and essentially murdered by a mob. He drives over some people, and the report was, miraculously, people just had some cuts. No one died. Cut to the next night, last night, they're rioting all through Portland. Go to BG on the scene. That's Brendan Gutenschwager. BG on the scene seems to just be everywhere that Antifa is. It's like his brother is Antifa or something. I'm not accusing that. I'm saying it is suspicious that he's always there. It's like he's always got the intel. Maybe he's just friends with them and they'll tell him where they're going to be acting. So they are scaling fences. They're screaming that they want to take down the jails and free all of the prisoners. If you don't believe me, I'll find you the clip. But you can see the police are making arrests. They're coming out and as ICE agents trying to fend off their building. Meanwhile, the people in Portland are trying to break into the ICE facility to break people out. And that should scare you, because if there is a group of people willing to knock a preacher out, you see this is a preacher that they've knocked to the ground. They're dragging around on the ground. Just him here preaching, that's all. Sorry. Here he is preaching. So this is what they do. And here, let me get a video of them saying that they're going to bring these people out of the prison. Sorry, there's just tons of information here from BG on the scene on his Twitter. Here, they're outside the prison. They're marching down the street. They're telling people that live in the apartments alongside the street to come outside. They're telling them to be quiet, right? Here, they're at the county corrections, smashing all the windows in. Pierce County. Fences rattling. At the jail. because they're going to go in, they say, and free the prisoners. Free them, free our brothers. They've been locked up wrongfully. Free them all. It's a chant. The people that are in that jail, here's a salient point. You've known by now that the people that are arrested for rioting, the people that are the violent criminals on the street committing actual violence, in the dead of night, they get arrested, if they get arrested, and then they get just dumped right back out on the street the next night or the next day. They get dropped out with no bail and the charges get dismissed. So they go back out and they do it again. We know this. So you have to wonder then, who are they keeping in the jail? Who are they keeping in there? If the semi-violent people are getting let go, is it just the incredibly violent extremes that are inside? Because if those are the people that they are chanting, free them all, they don't want there to be law. These are mostly, communist anarchists, right? I know that sounds insane. There can't be an anarchist and a communist. Those would... Hear me out. They want anarchy so long as it destroys our system, and then they will impose their own communist one. That's what I mean. So they're anarcho-commies. First they want the anarchy, and then they're going to rebuild with communism. Black Lives Matter and release them all, but they're outside of the jail. Not a great look, Antifa. All because they hate Ted Wheeler? Well, no. But that's who's trending tonight, and that's who I thought might have gotten yearsed. So that's what I wanted to report. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I know this was a little lengthy, but like the video if you could. Share it all the same. Thank you for subscribing to this channel on Odyssey, YouTube, BitChute, and Rumble, and Gab, and even, what was the last one? Public. Yeah, we're trading some stocks. Do everything else that you can do after those things to take it easy, have a good night, and keep America afloat.